Okay, be honest. Have you ever stared at the clock at like 2 a.m., absolutely buried under a mountain of tasks, and just thought, man, if only I didn't have to sleep? Well, today we're diving into a truly mind-bending explainer based on some fascinating source material. We're looking at a completely hypothetical reality where human sleep is literally obsolete. I mean, think about the sheer power of a world where we never need to shut down. It would absolutely rewrite every single rule of our existence, totally changing the fabric of how we live, how we work, and how we connect with each other.
So, what if humans never actually needed sleep? I want you to genuinely picture what your life would look like right now if that biological necessity just vanished overnight. Imagine having zero fatigue, no heavy eyelids during that painfully boring afternoon meeting, no desperate 3 p.m. coffee runs just to stay functional, and definitely no guilt about losing hours to late-night doom scrolling when you know you should be resting. Right now, we spend a massive chunk of our lives completely unconscious. Wiping out that biological need? That creates the ultimate what-if scenario for humanity. It literally removes the built-in limits of our daily capacity and fundamentally changes our entire relationship with time itself.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer volume of time we are actually talking about getting back. We're looking at a huge block of 6 to 8 hours of reclaimed time every single day. If you multiply that out over a lifetime, you're literally adding decades of conscious time to a single life. Decades. Without the constant drag of fatigue, your potential to produce and create just absolutely skyrockets. You'd have this immense, completely uninterrupted runway every day. Just think about it. You could master a new language every couple of months, effortlessly stay caught up on every show or book, or even build a whole second career in the exact same hours you used to spend dreaming.
But, to really grasp the gravity of totally removing sleep, we first have to look at what this biological pause button is actually doing for us right now. Because sleep isn't just some idle downtime, right? It is a highly critical survival mechanism. It's this essential window where our brains recover neuroplasticity. It's where our messy daily experiences are aggressively packed away into long-term memory. And it's where our bodies dive into intense physical cellular repair. In our current reality, shutting down is absolutely crucial for our baseline health. Take that away, and our cognitive functions would degrade incredibly fast, and our physical systems would just start buckling under the weight of non-stop operation.
So, making the jump from our current day and night dependency to a completely sleepless reality, well, that would require nothing short of a biological miracle. Right now, our bodies aggressively demand that downtime to run all those maintenance protocols we just talked about. For us to pull off 24/7 continuous activity without feeling tired, our human biology would need some truly extreme adaptations. I mean, our brains and bodies would basically need to evolve overnight. They'd have to figure out a way to simultaneously process complex memories and fix physical wear and tear, all while we are wide awake, running around, and totally active in the world.
Now, let's say we actually pulled that off. If we somehow successfully adapted to this continuous biology, the ripple effects hitting society would be absolutely monumental. Our traditional, sun-dictated routines, gone, completely wiped out. They'd be replaced by these continuous round-the-clock activity loops. Honestly, the sun going down would mean nothing more than just flipping on a desk lamp. And sure, ditching our day-night dependency opens the door to endless time for learning and entertainment, but it also entirely rewrites how we pace our lives. There'd be no natural end of the day anymore, no universally accepted, socially agreed upon time to just log off and disconnect.
Economically and socially, this shift would be explosive. On one side of things, industries could run totally non-stop and global productivity would just skyrocket. But as you might guess, with that hyper-productivity comes a much darker side, intensely heightened competition in the workforce. You can easily picture a reality where your boss expects an email response at 4 a.m. simply because, well, you're awake anyway, right? And the biggest casualty in this whole new world would be downtime culture. When everyone suddenly has a full 24 hours of usable time, the societal pressure to constantly be hustling or producing would go completely through the roof, which effectively erases the very concept of daily relaxation. So, the crucial point here is the psychological climax of this whole thought experiment, the very real, terrifying risk of mental overload. Look, stripping away human fatigue sounds like an absolute superpower on paper. It gives us this massive advantage in a super fast-paced world. But even if our physical bodies magically adapted to never feeling tired, we would inevitably hit a massive psychological brick wall. The human mind is simply not built for a relentless, unyielding grind. Removing our physical limits doesn't just magically upgrade our psychological endurance along with it.
Without those 6 to 8 hours of unconsciousness, which, by the way, is time we so often mistakenly view as wasted,
we completely lose our essential psychological reset. Try to imagine a total, complete loss of genuine relaxation. Without sleep acting as this hard, built-in biological stop to your day, you'd be facing unending psychological pressure. You'd have this constant, unfiltered flood of information, nonstop work demands, and continuous social interaction without a single forced break. It turns what initially looked like the ultimate productivity fantasy into a literal mental nightmare. We'd be perpetually stimulated, never ever allowed to just drift away, tune out, and reset.
So knowing all of this, knowing the severe psychological cost, the unending pressure, the crazy competition, and the absolute death of downtime, would you still choose to give up sleep? It really forces us to reconsider the incredible value of our rest. Honestly, maybe that wasted time we spend unconscious is actually our most valuable asset. It might just be the anchor that keeps us human. Definitely something to chew on the next time you find yourself wishing there were a few more hours in the day. Keep exploring those what-ifs, and I will see you in the next explainer.